Namaste to each and everyone. Om Yam Medham Devagana Pitaraschopasate Tayamamadya Medhayagne Medhavinam Kuru. I am indeed very happy and honored this morning to join the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha in the observance of Rishi Nirvan Utsav. The president, the secretary, the executive, and all the other officers, to them I say thank you for the opportunity given to me. My dear brothers and sisters of Arya Samaj, of our Hindu community in general, and of the worldwide fraternity of Arya Samaj and Hindus in general. When we reflect on the life of Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and especially on his passing on the 30th of October in the year 1883, it brings a lot of inspiration to our hearts. It brings to us a sense of awakening. It brings to us a sense of pride in our heritage, in our Vedic heritage, in our ancient heritage, in our Sanatan heritage. And so it is with great, it is with a great sense of gratitude that we observe this Rishi Nirvan Utsav. This year, the Rishi Nirvan Utsav is being dedicated to a very, very great soul. The former president, the former and late president of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha of Trinidad Incorporated, Sri Roshan Parasram Singh, who passed on the 2nd of September earlier this year. And for those of you who knew Sri Roshanji, we could all collectively attest to some of the great qualities that he had as a leader, as a community person, as a civic-minded citizen, and as a member of the Arya Samaj. When we look at the life of Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and when we look at the life and the contribution of Sri Roshanji, we can see certain parallels emerging that are very striking. Swami Dayanand was a Bal Brahmachari, meaning that he had totally dedicated his life to the pursuit of the spiritual heritage and to the service of mankind. And as a result, he was never married, but remained celibate throughout his life. Sri Roshan was very much the same in many respects. He was not married. He was a family person dedicated to his biological family, but he was never married and never had the responsibilities associated with Grihastha ashram. And he therefore was able to dedicate a great amount of his time, his effort, his thoughts, his energies into serving the Arya Samaj. And this really made him stand out as one of the great leaders of the Arya Samaj in recent times. Roshanji had a consuming passion for service of the community. He could not stay quiet or dormant for too long, seeing the need in the society for seva or selfless service. He would organize many programs that were targeted to the distressed, to the disadvantaged, to the poor, to the downtrodden in the society, who were in great need sometimes of even the basics of food, shelter, and clothing. And through the Arya Samaj, and with the assistance of so many members, and especially some of the youths, he was able to steer the ship in such a way, the ship of the Arya Samaj in such a way, that he brought relief to hundreds, thousands of people. Especially during the pandemic years, when there was so much deprivation and so much difficulty and challenges faced by ordinary people. Swami Dayanand set this wonderful example. Swami Dayanand had once said, he was asked this question, why don't you give up this world? You have already the capacity and the capability to attain moksha. Why are you engaging in so much work? You can just retire somewhere in some remote place and focus your attention differently, and you will attain your moksha. And Swamiji's response was, what is the use of my moksha when millions of my countrymen are suffering? I will attain moksha at some other time. I need to attend to the needs, the dire needs of my countrymen. Friends, children of God, members of the Arya Samaj, members of the Hindu community, the human being is not made with a selfish heart. We are a social being, and we cannot live happily in contentment when there is distress around, when there's difficulty, when there's poverty, when there's ignorance. And this is how Roshanji was able to motivate himself to go out and assist the community. Just as Swami Dayanand spent his entire life, the entire latter part of his life, after roaming for 15 years, searching and learning, he spent the last remaining part of his life totally in the service of the people of Bharat Mata, and by extension, all of us who have our origin in Bharat Mata, Mother India, and by further extension, his teachings have reached the world. His wonderful teachings, universal teachings, have reached the world. My dear brothers and sisters, the sixth principle of the Arya Samaj, which Swami Dayanand approved and was instrumental in putting together these principles. The sixth principle says, doing good to the whole world is the main object of the Arya Samaj. That is, improving the physical, spiritual, and social conditions of mankind. It could not be clear or clearer as to what is the purpose of the Arya Samaj. The Arya Samaj is to improve, was formed to improve the lives of people. And Swami Dayanand showed, and by example of his own self, that the way to go about doing this is to first of all change the mindset of people. Change the mindset. This is why the motto of the Arya Samaj is Krinvanto Vishwamaryam. And it comes from a mantra in the Rig Veda, the context of which says, now Krinvanto Vishwam Aryam simply means those three words, make the world noble. But the context in which the mantra comes from, Indram Vardhanto Aptaraha, make yourself noble. And then, by your example and by your influence, you can make the world noble. Friends, this is our mandate given by Swami Dayanand. We've got to engage in personal development. We've got to become consumed, as Swami Dayanand was, spending 15 years roaming and searching and learning. How many years do you and I spend learning about the Arya Samaj, reading about the Arya Samaj, reading about the Veda, reading the Veda, if possible? How much time are we prepared to devote to this undertaking? And we should be mindful of this. And Roshan was mindful of this as well, because he was always interested in some kind of learning project as well. Many times we spoke about different ideas of creating a learning environment in the Arya Samaj. He always spoke about the challenges as well. But we always had the thought, when we shared moments of conversation, how we could create the Arya Samaj, in the Arya Samaj, a learning environment. And he was keenly interested in what was happening in the schools, where we have academic learning taking place, but very little religious and spiritual activities and learning experiences, except the routine prayers and so on that happens there in the Vedic schools. My dear friends, to be an Arya Samajist, to be a follower of Swami Dayanand, to be a follower of Vedic Satya Sanatan Dharma, one has to become a lifelong learner. It's like a marriage, being in a marriage, an unbreakable bond, a commitment to continuous education. And not only that, the education that we get in the Arya Samaj, the education that we derive from studying the Vedic scriptures, should inspire us to create a new mindset. Krinvanto Vishwamaryam. Transform. Self-transformation. If we have the knowledge, if we have the information of all the scriptures and all the teachings, but it doesn't impact our personal lives, then the fruit of this learning would be lost. My dear brothers and sisters, as we dedicate this Utsav to the late Sri Roshanji, we should remember the teachings of the Veda, which says, Kurvanne, the Isha Vasya Upanishad, and in the 40th chapter of the Yajurveda, Kurvanne Veha Karmani, Jiji Vishek Shatam Sama. A human being should constantly engage in work, in activity, in productive engagements. This is the only way, the Ved says, you can live like a true human being. Tamasic way of living, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, we have been saying in the Diwali. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Lord, lead me from the tamasic way of living onto the Jyotir way of living. And tamas, what is tamas? Tamas means darkness, the literal darkness as well. But there's a figurative kind of darkness that we speak about when we talk about tamas. Tamas is laziness. You will get the definition in the Bhagavad Gita as well, Sri Krishna gives. Laziness, inertia, sloth, lethargy, dormancy, stagnation. Do these qualities apply to any of us? Have we overcome these tamasic qualities in ourselves? The Ved says, Kurvanne veh karmani. Kurvan. Kurvan eva. From the Sanskrit kri. Continuously working, assiduously, diligently working to improve yourself, improve your family, improve your society, improve your samaj, and improve your country. There is no room to relax. Relaxation happens in the work itself. If we approach the work with love, if we approach our activities and our seva with love, then the work itself becomes a form of relaxation. It energizes us further. Therefore, let us heed the words of the Ved. The Arya Samaj in Trinidad, in the APS, in the Vedic mission, over here where I am stationed in New York, in the Arya Spiritual Center, and throughout the world, the Arya Samaj needs workers. Dedicated workers who are well trained, who are well educated in the teachings of the Arya Samaj, and who practice the teachings of the Arya Samaj. We are in dire need of a cadre of dedicated, committed, and practicing followers of Arya Samaj and Sanatana Dharma in general. In many ways, Sri Roshan Parasuram Singh belonged to that cadre. And today, as we bow in reverence and gratitude to our Swami Dayanand Saraswati, who left his mortal coil on this Diwali evening of the year 1883 by saying, Lord Bhagavan, Teri Leela Puri Hui. I fully accept the verdict of your drama that you played through my life. Now your drama has come to an end. I'm leaving. And we should live our lives. The message of that last statement of Swami Dayanand is, for us, we should live our lives in such a way that when the time has come to leave, we too can say, Lord, my life has been a grand drama, a grand drama, majestic drama. And now it's time to exit my role and take up a new role. Roshan did this, exited this role on Friday the 2nd of September and was called to take up another role. As we bow in gratitude to Swami Dayanand for the great inheritance that he left us, we also bow in gratitude to Sri Roshan Saraswati. Brothers and sisters, may we all continue to adopt the great qualities that Roshan had, and if he had any faults, human as he was, like each and every one of us, if he trespassed on anybody, if he in any way created any unpleasantness, let us all forgive and bless him wherever that beautiful Atma is. I wish you all blessings of the teachings of the Ved, all blessings of this inheritance of ours. And may the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha continue to thrive, continue to prosper, continue to grow and develop into the monumental success that it was designed to be. I want to say a very special thank you to I believe the acting president, Sri Ravi Ramaran, and the secretary, Kumari Vidya Ramachala, and all the other officers and the board members and so on for the great work that you have been doing. And may Paramatma continue to bless you to continue to work selflessly and with great diligence and commitment. May Bhagwan bless, Paramatma bless each and every one of you. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste.